Vivo X100 Pro's presence is arguably very late. Compared to Samsung, which can hold reservations right at launch, this Vivo flagship has only been present for months after its initial introduction at the end of 2023. When it debuted last June, it's undeniable that its sibling, the X Fold 3 Pro, looked more attractive. But the Vivo X100 Pro has its own charm thanks to its camera setup that doesn't mess around. Although it was released at the end of 2023, until now, it is still able to outperform the camera quality of other flagships that have officially debuted throughout 2024. Even now, the Vivo X100 Pro price is much more affordable than its launch price, where a number of stores on e-commerce sell it up to $3 million cheaper. Of course, it makes it more competitive, although it is not really the most recent release, and the latest generation is ready to be introduced next week. With the latest, more attractive price, it doesn't hurt to take a look at this Vivo flagship. Here's the full Vivo X100 Pro review. Stylish, yet looks and feels bulky. That's the brief impression we felt when holding and using the Vivo X100 Pro for a few weeks. Of course, we can't expect that this Vivo flagship can appear thin and light, considering that it needs to carry a number of hardware components, including a superior camera sensor setup. In Indonesia, the Vivo X100 Pro is only available in one color option, Asteroid Black. The glass surface of the rear body is anti-glare, aka fingerprint-free, and features a glitter effect. Whether it looks premium or not is subjective. The thickness is about 9 millimeters, with a weight of about 221 grams. Still lighter than the Galaxy S24 Ultra, but noticeably heavier. How so? We think it's because the weight distribution tends to be heavier at the top, presumably referring to the placement of the camera module. In addition to feeling heavy, the body is also very slippery, slicker than the V30 or V40, just as slippery as the Vivo V29. For users with sweaty palms like me, it was uncomfortable to hold the Vivo X100 Pro for a long time without a case in hand. Overall, the Vivo X100 Pro's design looks luxurious and premium for a 2024 flagship. It's just not the thinnest or most comfortable to hold, despite carrying the best hardware combination in its class. The premium look on the front of the Vivo X100 Pro is reflected in the use of a glass panel that has 3D curves on both sides. This makes the 6.78-inch screen diameter feel slimmer in the hand, especially when compared to the Galaxy S24 Ultra or even the iQ12. And it doesn't cause any problems at all, such as ghost touch or otherwise. The panel used is, of course, flagship grade, LTPO AMOLED, 1 billion colors, maximum refresh rate of 120 Hz, and maximum brightness of up to 3000 nits. This makes the Vivo X100 Pro comfortable to use, including when hunting photos in daylight conditions. The viewfinder is clearly visible, and users can stay focused on capturing the moment. Support for HDR content from favorite streaming platforms, of course, is already present through Vivo X100 Pro. And to show off the screen, there are quite a few always-on display options to choose from, some of which provide interesting transition effects. The in-display fingerprint sensor is quite reliable, although we found its position a little too downward due to the large dimensions. Let's get to the most interesting part. With a very large module, the Vivo X100 Pro camera is supported by 3 sensors, each of which is of high quality, paired with laser autofocus, as well as Zeiss-T lens coating that is able to reduce glare and other similar effects. 3 sensors, both with a resolution of 50 megapixels. The main sensor uses a 1-inch Sony IMX989, aka the largest in smartphones today in terms of physical diameter of the sensor. While the ultra-wide sensor uses the Samsung JN1, it supports autofocus for macro capabilities. What about the telephoto periscope? It uses a half-inch OV64B, the same as that used in Oppo Find N3, iQOO12, and Realme 12 Pro Plus 5G. But Vivo has refined each sensor with its collaboration with Zeiss, as well as the Vivo V3 chip, which is a hardware component to enhance the performance of the camera system. So even though the periscope sensor is the same, the results can be much different than other smartphones. What we like is that Vivo provides quite a few focal length options, providing maximum flexibility. The section on this Vivo flagship that I think is the weakest is in the software section. Running FunTouch OS based on Android 14, Vivo only promises 3 years of software updates, far below the average flagship like Samsung, Apple, to Google. Even Samsung's mid-range smartphones can provide up to 4 new OS versions. In addition to the duration of updates, we also found the interface a little boring and lacking in standout. Maybe it would be nice if Gizmo friends really wanted to approach the UI closer to stock Android, but when compared to the latest One UI or Color OS, it feels less intuitive. Likewise, the AI features offered are much more minimal. Unlike the Vivo V40 series, features such as deleting objects in the image on the Vivo X100 Pro, it seems that AI is still not supported because the capabilities are far inferior. Indeed, in its home country, it has been released a long time ago. But at least it is updated with relevant features so that it is still worthy of being an option, as Samsung did by bringing Galaxy AI to the flagship a few generations earlier. For the audio sector, the stereo speaker setup is quite thunderous, although not the most special. Vivo X100 Pro also has an infrared sensor located on the top side and comes with an app to control home devices such as TVs and air conditioners. Although first introduced since the end of last year, the Vivo X100 Pro is already carrying the best chip from MediaTek, namely the Dimensity 9300 series with 4nm fabrication. There is indeed a Plus version, but only different clock speeds, and it can still produce Antutu scores exceeding 2 million points. The rest is the same, paired with a generous RAM capacity and internal storage. Vivo is known to be able to tame various types of MediaTek chips, as evidenced by a number of Vivo V series that can produce the best camera quality in its class, even using MediaTek, also proven in Vivo X100 Pro. Even for the late 2024 flagship class, the performance is very smooth, starting from multitasking to trying out a number of popular game titles. The overall temperature of the device was also well maintained, rarely overheating despite accessing the camera feature and turning on the hotspot all day. It seems that the benefits of the not-so-thin body provide optimal space and cooling system in this section. This can have a positive effect on daily performance, of course. Vivo has indeed developed battery technology that allows for greater capacity in equivalent dimensions. And in its fairly bonzgore dimensions, the Vivo X100 Pro battery is arguably above average, namely reaching 5,400 mAh, aka quite large. Thanks to the power-efficient chipset, the Vivo X100 Pro battery is very reliable for a full day of use, including when activating the hotspot until many photos are taken. It can still last until the next morning. With lighter use, it can easily last up to 2 days. The long-lasting battery is certainly fitting when paired with instant charging. Through the support of 100-watt fast charging, charging the Vivo X100 Pro 15 minutes can already reach the 60% range. Meanwhile, to reach 100%, a little more than 30 minutes. The good news is that the 120-watt charger embedded in the sales package supports the USB PD standard, so it is compatible with many other devices. Not to forget, Vivo X100 Pro also supports wireless charging up to 50 watt and reverse wireless charging. When needed, it can be converted as an emergency charger for AIoT such as smartwatches, TWS, even iPhones, although the speed is of course very slow. At least it's multifunctional. A plus compared to the non-Pro version.